good, super happy. Not the way maybe Alexandra wanted, and we're super happy of getting into the fourth round.
Court 12 at the All England Club may not be the biggest stage in tennis, but on June 30th, 2026, it felt like the heartbeat of an entire nation. More than 10,000 miles away in the Philippines, millions of fans were glued to every point as a father in the player's box fought back tears, unable to hide his emotions while watching his daughter make history. The final score flashed across the court, and with that victory, Alex Eala, the number 29 seed, became the first Filipino player in history to win a Wimbledon main draw match as a seeded competitor. It was the kind of moment cameras love to capture, a dream realized, a family overwhelmed with pride, and a country celebrating together. But while the television broadcasts focused on the celebration, another story quietly spread across Filipino social media. Fans whispered about an ocean view penthouse and a promise Alex had made when she was just 13 years old, long before she boarded a plane to Mallorca to chase her dream. Whether those rumors were true or simply part of the growing legend surrounding her, they reflected how deeply Filipinos had invested in her journey. If you've been following Alex since the beginning, you're part of a community that believed in her long before the rest of the world caught up. To understand why this Wimbledon victory meant so much, you have to go back 8 years, long before the rankings, the headlines, and the history books. Back then, Alex was just a determined young girl training at the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex while her father, Mike, a former competitive swimmer, put aside his own ambitions to travel with her to the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca. Her mother, Riza, a former Southeast Asian Games swimming bronze medalist, balanced her executive career at Globe Telecom while constantly traveling between Manila, Mallorca, and tournaments around the world, making countless sacrifices so their daughter could pursue a dream that once seemed almost impossible. Every mile they traveled, every sacrifice they made, and every difficult decision along the way led to this unforgettable afternoon at Wimbledon, where years of dedication finally turned into a historic victory that inspired an entire nation. The Philippine Daily Inquirer once described Alex Eala's parents in a single, unforgettable phrase: ever present, but not disruptive. They were always there, supporting every step of their daughter's journey without ever stepping into the spotlight themselves. Then, during the same week as Alex's historic Wimbledon breakthrough, a rumor exploded across Filipino social media and suddenly thrust that quiet story of sacrifice into a much louder conversation. Posts circulating online claimed that Alex had secretly used part of her prize money to buy her parents a luxury ocean view penthouse overlooking Manila Bay as a thank you for everything they had sacrificed over the years. According to the viral story, the gift was especially meant to honor her father, Mike, who gave up his own athletic career to help his daughter chase her tennis dream, and that when he was handed the keys, he was overcome with emotion and couldn't hold back his tears. It's important to separate emotion from fact here. As of now, neither Alex Eala nor any member of her family has publicly confirmed that such a purchase was made, and no major or credible Philippine news organization has verified the claim. At this point, the story exists only as an unverified rumor shared widely across social media. Yet the reason it spread so quickly goes far beyond the idea of an expensive penthouse. What truly captured people's attention was the meaning behind the story. Filipino fans weren't simply debating whether Alex bought her parents a home. They were talking about whether she had finally reached the point in her career where she could repay the sacrifices that helped make her success possible. That emotional connection is what gave the rumor its power. Financially, the story doesn't seem impossible. According to the WTA's official prize money records, Alex Eala had earned approximately $871,438 in prize money during the 2026 season at the time of this story. Just a few years earlier, she was still a junior player fighting for wild cards and opportunities. In only 6 months, she had earned more than many Filipino tennis players make throughout their entire careers. Whether the rumored penthouse exists or not, one thing is undeniable. Her success has reached a level where such a gesture is no longer beyond imagination. But money alone can never fully repay what her parents gave up along the way. Mike Eala was once a competitive swimmer before setting aside his own ambitions when Alex was only 13 years old. relocating to Mallorca so she could train at the Rafa Nadal Academy. Meanwhile, her mother, Alexandra Eala, continued balancing her professional career while constantly traveling between Manila, Mallorca, and tournaments around the world, making countless personal and professional sacrifices so their daughter's dream would never have to end before it truly began. Alexandra Eala never stopped balancing both worlds. As a finance executive at one of the Philippines' largest corporations, she continued building her professional career while still making time to be present at Alex's tournaments, just as she had been years earlier when her daughter was a young girl training at Rizal Memorial Sports Complex. That is exactly why the rumored gift of a luxury home resonated so deeply with Filipino fans. The Ealas were never portrayed as a family escaping poverty or searching for financial security. Their story has always been one of sacrifice, commitment, and unwavering support. If such a gift were ever to happen, it would not be about providing something they lacked. It would be about honoring everything they gave. That emotional meaning is what fueled the conversation online. Tennis history offers similar examples of successful athletes rewarding the people who helped them reach the top. Serena Williams has spoken about giving back to her family, while Coco Gauff has also celebrated her family's role in her rise. In the Philippines, Manny Pacquiao became a national symbol not only because of his achievements in the ring, but also because of the way he honored his mother and his family after achieving global success. For many Filipino fans, reaching the highest level of international sport naturally brings expectations that extend beyond trophies and rankings. Whether fair or not, athletes often become symbols of gratitude, family, and national pride. That is why so many supporters already see Alexandra Eala as someone whose story belongs among the country's greatest sporting icons. The fans who followed her journey from the courts of Rizal Memorial to her junior Grand Slam success at Roland Garros, and later to her breakthrough performances on the WTA Tour, never believed the dream was unrealistic. They believed they were watching history develop in real time. While some critics dismissed that optimism as wishful thinking or nationalism, those early supporters saw the steady progress long before it became international news. Today, many of the headlines appearing around the world simply echo what Filipino tennis fans have been saying for years, that Alexandra Eala possesses the talent to compete with the very best. The timeline leading to this breakthrough makes the achievement even more remarkable. Only weeks earlier, she was fighting through inconsistent results and difficult defeats. She captured the Birmingham title on grass after battling back from a set down, then suffered an early exit at Bad Homburg, raising fresh questions about her form heading into Wimbledon. Just days later, she stepped onto court 12 at the All England Club and defeated Renata Zarazua in straight sets, earning her first ever Wimbledon main draw victory and adding another historic milestone to Philippine tennis. In the span of just 1 week, she went from disappointment in the locker room to celebrating a career-defining win on one of the sport's biggest stages. Through every high and low, one message from Alex herself has remained constant. Success is never built overnight, but through years of patience, sacrifice, and believing in the journey even when no one else can yet see where it leads. One quote from Alexandra Eala may explain why this entire story resonated so deeply with fans. During a WTA feature filmed at the ASB Classic on January 6, 2026, she looked into the camera and said, "Home is not a place, it's the people." That simple statement became the emotional foundation behind the online rumors. Whether or not a luxury penthouse overlooking Manila Bay actually exists is still unconfirmed, but the feeling behind the story is very real because it reflects the values Alex herself has openly expressed. She wasn't talking about buildings or possessions. She was talking about family, gratitude, and the people who stood beside her long before the victories arrived. That is why so many supporters found the rumor believable. It wasn't because anyone had concrete proof, but because they believed it fit the character Alex has shown throughout her career. You don't have to rely on social media speculation to see how far her reputation has grown. After her historic Wimbledon victory on June 30th, 2026, the official Instagram account of Wimbledon, the oldest and one of the most prestigious tournaments in tennis, shared highlights of her performance and celebrated her achievement before a global audience. For Filipino fans, that recognition carried enormous significance. It wasn't simply praise from another sports page or a local news outlet. It came from one of the most respected institutions in tennis, an event whose history includes legends such as Roger Federer, Serena Williams, and Novak Djokovic. When a tournament with nearly a century and a half of history publicly celebrates a young player from the Philippines, it marks a milestone that extends beyond a single match. It signals that Alex Eala is no longer viewed merely as a promising prospect or a rising talent. She has become part of the global tennis conversation, earning recognition on one of the sport's biggest stages. Regardless of what ultimately proves true about the rumors surrounding her personal life, her achievements on the court are already part of tennis history, and her journey continues to inspire millions of Filipinos who have followed her rise from the very beginning. The line between rumor and reality has never felt thinner than it does right now. As Alex Eala continues her Wimbledon campaign, every match carries the potential to reshape not only her career, but the future of Philippine tennis. Fans are refreshing the tournament draw by the hour, eagerly tracking every possible opponent and imagining how deep this remarkable run could go. A place in the third round would move her even closer to the WTA's top 20, a milestone no Filipina has ever achieved. Beyond Wimbledon, the season only grows bigger, with the North American hardcourt swing, Cincinnati, and the US Open offering even greater opportunities to build on her breakthrough. But what makes this moment truly different isn't just the rankings or the prize money. Until now, Alex Eala's story has largely been about one extraordinary athlete representing one proud nation. Today, she stands at the forefront of something much larger. In a country of more than 115 million people, where boxing and basketball have traditionally dominated the sporting landscape, she is helping establish tennis as a sport capable of producing global stars, international headlines, and world-class success. That shift is already changing how the world looks at Philippine sports. If Alex continues her run in London, international media attention will only grow stronger. Reporters will naturally become more interested in the people, sacrifices, and stories behind her rise, including the widely discussed but still unverified rumor about a luxury home for her parents. Whether that story ultimately proves true or remains nothing more than social media speculation, the curiosity surrounding it reflects how invested fans have become in every chapter of her journey. One thing, however, is beyond debate. This success did not happen overnight. Just 7 days before her Wimbledon debut, Alex suffered a disappointing first-round defeat at Bad Homburg, her second loss in only 3 days. Some tennis analysts questioned whether the coaching changes she had made before Wimbledon would pay off, with at least one outlet describing the decision as a significant gamble. Alex never responded with lengthy statements or dramatic explanations. She didn't hold a press conference or try to silence the criticism. Instead, she quietly traveled to London, accepted the challenge ahead, walked onto court 12, and let her tennis deliver the only answer that truly mattered. The final score told the story on the court: 6-1, 6-2. That was Alex Eala's answer to every question that had surrounded her in the days leading up to Wimbledon. Looking back, every chapter of her journey seems to point toward this moment. A father who set aside his own swimming career so his 13-year-old daughter could chase a tennis dream. A mother whose quiet presence was once described as ever present, but not